I have right in front of me essentially my routine. There's a few. I kind of scoured your videos and chose maybe 6 or 7 of the things that I heard you say are essentially essential to, boosting your speed, bulletproofing your knees, and even your vertical, which I haven't really tested, but I know I'm faster. That I can be sure of because that's measured. But hamstring curls. So the ones that you're seated, and you're obviously all the guys here that are listening, you guys have probably done this in preseason at least a little bit. And you're on your knees, someone holds your ankles, kind of bend down and possibly bend back up. But none of you guys are gonna be able to do that. I can't. I still can't do it, and it takes a while, right? So that was the first.
The faster guys will be able to do it. I was personally training the fastest baseball player, who actually has a build like a soccer player because he's like 5'9".
Wow.
He's on a $365 million contract. Pretty good for
not bad
sports. I'm not sure how they come up with these numbers, like, 300 million.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was able to do these Nordics with perfect form from day one. Okay. I was just helping him with a plan for an issue going on in his knee, which we've now been able to get symptom free. But the point is that he could already do this naturally. And it took me like 2.5 years, to do what he could do naturally.
Right.
So some people actually will be able to do this, okay, and it's just one piece of it. But let's just look when we're running. So, what makes that different than like a squat or a deadlift? Like a squat or a deadlift, the force is up and down. So we want to be strong in our legs and our back. But now what turns that into then going horizontally? Okay. So squat or deadlift, pushing up and down, very necessary strengths. I do them in unorthodox ways because I don't want to get hurt in the process of trying to be the best athlete I can be. So we strengthen the legs. We strengthen the legs in, one side at a time with greater, range of motion. But the concept is the same. We want to be strong pushing that way. But now to turn that into actual speed, that Nordic is going to be the foundation. And the difference between if you go to the gym and you have a hamstring curl machine, that would be better than nothing. But if you try the hamstring curl machine, you'll find that the toughest part is when you go into the contracted position. Whereas a Nordic, let's pull up, if you just go on YouTube and search how to do a Nordic,
okay,
my video should come up first, unless someone on YouTube is trying to prevent the gains. All right, so go to the start of the very start, and pause it at the start. Go to the very start and pause. Okay, right there. There's no tension yet. And when we run, that's not the point of tension. When we run, the point of tension is when the leg is going towards a straightened position. So now play it. And now ready, right when the leg lengthens. So play it and ready. Yep. So see, now it's getting tougher.
Right.
That's where the foot is striking when we run. You see what I mean? So the point is that this is much harder and much more specific for running than a leg curl machine, though I have nothing against a machine. But now also let's break this down. That bench right there is $500, but a new hamstring curl machine costs about $4,000, and you'll find them in every local gym is going to have a $4,000 hamstring curl machine. Yet no local gym is going to have a $500 machine. What if you got as strong on that as your buddies were on push-ups? Or how many push-ups can you do? You should be able to do as many Nordics as you can do push-ups.
Right.
Now, who has actually tried that? Well, I've tried that. You know who else has tried that? Jonathan Edwards worked on his Nordics once a week for 20 years and won his first Olympic gold in the triple jump at age 34 with gray hair. This guy
right here. Yeah.
And he had the fastest approach in triple jump history. So no wonder he broke the record. If you have a faster entrance to the triple jump, well, you have the potential to go farther. So not that many people, even though it seems like common sense, not very many people have tried what happens. Not if I do it for 8 weeks in preseason. Not if I just resist down. Yeah, resisting down, do that for 12 weeks. I suggest doing that and just fighting down for 12 weeks. But then we actually want to get to the ability to explode up. And then we want to get to the ability to drop ourselves and catch ourselves without touching and come back up. So I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's practical. I'm not saying that you're not going to have to really figure out how to do it. But let's pull up one more video just to give an example. Yeah. And I mean, you saw me doing it there with the dumpster. So I'm just saying that, like, if you don't have the guts to do it, that's on you. I'm giving you the data. I'm paving the way for gyms to go, well, shit, we could save a lot of money and bulletproof the ACL a lot more, because the way that the Nordic works, it's attaching from the back of the thigh to the front of the shin bone, just like your ACL does, meaning you get 1% stronger on a Nordic, you just got 1% more protected in your ACL. Okay. Life is freaking hard. We might as well at least put the odds in our favor. Sure. We're all going to die. If any of us jump off a skyscraper, our knees are going to explode. There's no absolute protection or absolute longevity, but there is measurably putting those odds in our favor. So that guy that you just saw right there, he's doing that at 35 years old. He was leading the NHL hockey in scoring at 35 years old. And in his gym, his trainer wrote up an article and it said, at the time that he did that, he was the only guy out of 25 pro hockey players who could do that. Okay. So here I am. When I saw that, I was at home and I couldn't do it, you know? And I wasn't even one of the 25 who couldn't do it. You know, I was one of the guys on the sidelines who didn't even make it to the pro level. You know what I mean? Right. So I was even worse than the guys who couldn't do it. So it took me a lot of work to figure out. So, but when I saw that and looking back, now I'm like, that trainer missed out on gold. No offense. Get the other 24 guys to do it. Yeah. That's where the gold is not by showing off the guy who can naturally do it. So many guys will be able to naturally do this. Okay. But let's put this into relative perspective. What did I say first? That the squat and deadlift force, that force matters, because imagine if you just had a string for a body with no quads. If you had no quads, that exercise becomes easier. You have less weight. So that the Nordic only helps you harness your leg and glute and lower back power. Do you see that? So it's like how much leg, glute, lower back power do you have? Then the Nordic helps you turn that into horizontal speed. Totally. So the Nordic doesn't make you run. The Nordic makes your quads and glutes turn into horizontal speed. So then what about how, in an even more practical sense, you said he trained it once a week. What are guys supposed to do? They hear this, they see this. Train it once a week at 10 reps, 5 reps. I think you mentioned something about 5 seconds. 5 sets of 5. 5 sets of 5. 5 sets of 5 once a week. Give yourself at least, 2.5 years, because not just me, there's been other football players who went from like unrecruited to then first round draft picks. And the common theme seems to be that it took about 2.5 years for someone who sucks at them to really get good at them. So, and even if you were, again, it's like, you're going to keep training. Even if you're the best athlete in the world, you're going to keep doing your jumping jacks and your push-up. Like, this is a way of life for me once a week. So what's crazy is I'm 30. I know I'll be faster when I'm 40. I sure as heck know I'll be faster at 35 than I am now, because I'm going to keep training that once a week, while other people do it for 8 weeks in preseason for a few sets. You see, like, it's just you wouldn't expect to be the world's strongest bench presser. So it's the same concept as the people who do get strong, but applied for an athlete. Yeah. And I do want to pull up one more video, because let's do it. The most practical way I found to work on that, well, what's the most proven, simplest way to support our body weight is those doorway chin-up bars. So do me another search on YouTube. Okay. This one's a new video, so you might have to go to mine. And how to do a Nordic from home, or you can do a Nordic from home, something like that. Okay. All I've got here is I've got a doorway chin-up bar, which is already proven if you set it up right, you can hold your whole weight. Mm-hmm. Now, this is when I was testing it out, so I was a little bit scared, and I had my wife sit on it. I didn't want to be mid-video and have it fly off, but I've since tried it. But still, the point is, if you live at home, you probably have a buddy or someone if you want to, make sure that it's held down. But I've also done it without her sitting on it for the extra support. So I just have a ton of padding under my knees, and I'm using a $20 doorway chin-up bar. So that's the most practical way I've found. Okay. But again, look at what these teams are investing in their bodies. They should have 6 Nordic benches. They could get 8 Nordic benches for the price of 1 hamstring curl machine. So if I'm coaching a team, I'm like, I want the whole team, everyone on the team to be able to do Nordic. I didn't do this with the soccer team. I did it with the football team,
sure,
American football. And I had the 300-pound dudes doing Nordics. If you want to get mad college scholarships, these Division I coaches are walking in, seeing 300-pounders doing Nordics. They can jump up and grab the rim. They can run at 300 pounds and stuff like this.
Beasts.
Again, it took work, and it's so intense. You want to try to do it every day, but it's so intense. I just advise 5 sets of 5 once a week. There's an example of my mom regressing it. So my mom's 67. My mom can run pretty freaking fast for 67. Like she shocks people. But again, it's just physics, and she works on her Nordics once a week, and so she runs really fast.
Unreal.
67.
So that one alone, and I've probably, and I listened to that. I heard the 5 sets 5 times with I think you had a timer about a minute, something like that. And I've been somewhere around that when I feel good, and I because it was so cool to see progress even after this week by week by week, that I'm like, oh wow, like I can I'm not pushing up. I've seen the kind of the ways to go, you can lean up against a chair or a pad like that to kind of work on regressing. And so I've done a lot of that, and it's just so crazy. It's kind of addictive, to be honest, because as you start to feel this power that you've not really felt, because I think it's a case of non-concentrated effort and attention to a part of the body that clearly is doing more for us that we just don't know about. And it's not like you're selling some crazy wacko juice. You're just like, okay, you guys have figured out that it's kind of important, so you'll do it sometimes, but you're not going to do it all the time. And so I think that is, the key in.
What's up, people? Tomorrow, we've got a crazy Black Friday sale on Goluremi Nation, our members-only monthly subscription, where you get access to more value in the football world than anywhere on the internet. And that, my friends, is straight facts. That's access to our exclusive programs on the 5 football pillars. That's skill training, speed and strength, diet, nutrition, how to go pro, and of course, the beast mode mindset program. We've got exclusive interviews with players in the top 5 leagues, access to our network of agents and scouts, huge discounts on Goluremi.com, free giveaways every month, your questions answered by Team Goluremi, and tons more. Come next year, this will go back to $99 a month, but tomorrow we are giving it away for $1. And if you don't have $1 to invest in your football future, your future happiness, then you have to ask the question on where your priorities really lie. We're gonna put in the work for you. Now join Goluremi Nation and put the work in for yourself.